Do people often find you intimidating? Well, that might not be a bad thing. Today, we're going to navigate the intriguing world of personalities, specifically focusing on the 10 signs that indicate a strong, intimidating personality. Contrary to popular belief, possessing an intimidating personality isn't a negative trait. Instead, it often signifies strength, independence, and assertiveness, qualities admired in today's fast-paced world. So, ready to find out if you have a strong, intimidating personality? Let's dive in. The first sign: you're brutally honest. Honesty. It's a virtue we all strive for, but for those with a strong, intimidating personality, it's more than just a virtue. It's a lifestyle. They don't just value honesty, they embody it, they live it. These individuals don't shy away from speaking their mind, even if it means delivering uncomfortable truths. They believe in transparency and integrity, and they don't sugarcoat their words. They speak with conviction, with a sincerity that's as refreshing as it is intimidating. It's not about being rude or confrontational, it's about being authentic. They understand that honesty builds trust and fosters genuine relationships. So they don't hesitate to uphold this truth even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. They don't play games, they don't manipulate, they tell it as they see it, unfiltered and unadulterated. So if you're someone who tells it like it is, you might be intimidating. Scene script. Sign number 2, you're fiercely independent. One of the most striking hallmarks of a strong and intimidating personality is a fierce sense of independence. People with this kind of personality are self-reliant to a remarkable degree. They're not afraid to step up, to take the lead, or to go it alone when the situation calls for it. They don't sit around waiting for others to make things happen. Instead, they take matters into their own hands, carving their own path and making their own decisions. Their sense of self is strong, and they don't need validation or approval from others to know their worth. They're confident in their abilities and in their judgment. They understand that life is not a popularity contest. It's about being true to oneself, about making the right choices, even if those choices aren't always popular. So if you find yourself standing alone because you're not afraid to, you might be intimidating. Sign 3, you have strong boundaries. In the world of strong, intimidating personalities, boundaries aren't just a suggestion. They're a steadfast rule. It's about knowing exactly where your personal line lies and ensuring that no one crosses it. You see, individuals with such personalities have a clear understanding of their limits and won't accept anything less than the respect they deserve. These are the people who, without hesitation, will tell you no if something doesn't sit right with them. They won't compromise their comfort or values for the sake of pleasing others. Their boundaries aren't barriers to keep people out, but rather guidelines that ensure their personal space and values are respected. Having boundaries doesn't mean being unapproachable or cold. It's about self-respect and the understanding that everyone, including yourself, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. So if you have clear boundaries and adhere to them, you might be intimidating. Sign 4, you don't tolerate ignorance. An intimidating personality doesn't mean you're a bully or a brute. In fact, it often signifies a fierce intellect and a hunger for knowledge. You see, intimidating people simply don't have the patience for ignorance or narrow-mindedness. They cultivate their minds and value intelligence not just in themselves, but in those around them as well. They appreciate deep, insightful conversations and have a low tolerance for small talk and shallow banter. They don't mind being the one asking the tough questions, pushing the boundaries of conventional thinking and challenging the status quo. They seek out those who can match their intellect, respect their perspective, and share their passion for knowledge. They are the ones who are willing to learn, grow, and expand their horizons, and they expect the same from others. So, if you find yourself constantly craving intellectual stimulation and have no patience for ignorance, you might be intimidating. Sign 5. You're solution-oriented. If there's one thing that strong personalities have in common, it's their ability to see beyond the problem at hand. They don't get caught up in the drama or the chaos that problems often bring. Instead, they see the opportunity for improvement, for growth, for resolution. They're the ones who roll up their sleeves when everyone else is pulling out their hair. They see a challenge and they meet it head-on. They don't waste time complaining or pointing fingers. They're too busy finding solutions, making plans, and taking action. This solution-oriented mindset is a hallmark of a strong, intimidating personality. It's about being proactive, not reactive. It's about driving change, not just going along for the ride. It's about seeing the bigger picture and understanding that every problem is just a stepping stone on the path to success. If you're always looking for solutions and taking action, you might be intimidating. Sign 6, you're assertive. Not to be confused with aggression, assertiveness is a hallmark of a strong, intimidating personality. These individuals are not shy about expressing their thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. They have the courage to voice what they stand for, and they don't back down easily. Assertiveness is about standing your ground, not trampling over others. It's about being firm, yet respectful. Assertive individuals have a knack for open, honest communication. They express their needs and desires clearly without beating around the bush. They're not afraid to say no when they need to, and they're equally unafraid to ask for what they want. This trait can be intimidating to those who aren't used to such directness and may even be mistaken for rudeness or arrogance. But remember, assertive people aren't trying to dominate the conversation, they're simply participating in it wholeheartedly. If you're assertive and stand up for your beliefs, you might be intimidating. Sign 7, you're unapologetic about who you are. It's a bold statement, isn't it? But it's also the hallmark of a strong, intimidating personality. You see, these individuals don't bend to societal pressures or expectations. They don't change their stripes to blend in with the herd. They are their authentic selves, through and through, regardless of the circumstances. They don't feel the need to apologize for their beliefs, their choices, or their lifestyle. They don't alter their personality to please others or to fit into a particular mold. They are comfortable in their own skin, and they embrace their uniqueness wholeheartedly. This unapologetic nature can be intimidating to some, as it challenges the status quo. It disrupts the comfort of conformity. It embodies the courage to be different, to be true to oneself despite the potential backlash. If you're unapologetic about who you are, you might be intimidating. Sign 8, you're not easily influenced. Being intimidating often comes with a strong sense of self-belief. This isn't about being stubborn or closed-minded. It's about having a clear understanding of your own values, principles, and perspectives, and not allowing others to sway you easily. This trait often leads to a certain level of independence in thought and decision-making. It's not about rejecting the opinions of others outright, but rather about not letting those opinions dictate your own. Instead, you weigh what you hear against your own understanding, your own experiences, and your own intuition. You're not a leaf tossed around by every passing breeze. You're more like a tree, deeply rooted yet flexible enough to weather the storms. You listen, you understand, but you decide, and when you decide, it's based on a solid foundation of self-assurance and conviction. If you're not easily influenced and think for yourself, you might be intimidating. Sign 9, you're decisive. Let's dive right into it. People with strong, intimidating personalities tend to be decisive. They don't waver or second-guess themselves. Instead, they make decisions swiftly and confidently. They understand that indecisiveness can lead to missed opportunities and unnecessary anxiety, and they're not about that life. They have a clear vision of what they want and are not afraid to pursue it. They weigh their options, consider the consequences, and then make a decision. Once they've made that decision, they stick to it. They're not easily swayed by others' opinions or doubts. Being decisive also means accepting responsibility for the outcomes of their decisions. They don't blame others when things go wrong. Instead, they learn from their mistakes, adjust their approach, and move forward. Decisiveness is a sign of self-confidence and inner strength. It's a trait that can be intimidating to those who are indecisive or unsure of themselves. If you're decisive and confident in your decisions, you might be intimidating. And the final sign, number 10, you're ambitious. Ambition is not just about having big dreams. It's about the relentless pursuit of those dreams. It's about striving for greatness and not settling for mediocrity. Intimidating people don't just dream big, they act big too. They are the ones who aren't afraid to take the road less traveled or to face the challenges that come their way. They are the ones who are willing to put in the hard work, the sweat, the tears, and the time it takes to achieve their goals. They know their worth and they won't settle for anything less. They don't just wish for success, they demand it from themselves. They are the ones who set high standards and continuously push themselves to exceed them. They are the ones who inspire others with their drive and determination. If you're ambitious and have big dreams, you might be intimidating. So, those were the 10 signs that you might have a strong, intimidating personality. Let's recap. You're honest, independent, and you have clear boundaries. You don't tolerate ignorance, you're solution-oriented and assertive. You're unapologetic about who you are. not easily influenced, decisive, and ambitious. These traits are not negatives. They are indicative of strength, independence, and assertiveness. Your personality can be intimidating, but that's simply a reflection of your inner power. Remember, being intimidating isn't a bad thing. It's a sign of your strength. Embrace it.